Afternoon. We'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the regularly scheduled meeting of the Kingman City Council held at 5 p.m. on Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. I'd like to turn some time over to our city clerk for roll call.
Mayor Watkins.
Present.
Vice Mayor Samley.
Here.
Councilmember Dykens.
Here.
Councilmember Savage.
Here.
Councilmember Staley.
Present.
Councilmember Walker. Here. Councilmember Ward.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. We would like to invite those, welcome again to being here in council chambers, those who are participating here, and also those who might be participating online. We would like to have an invocation and like to invite those who would like to participate with us to stand. Our invocation tonight will be given by Pastor Ken Meller of Grace Lutheran Church, after which I've asked Councilor Saley to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Gracious God, we ask that you watch over all the residents of the city of Kingman. Also be with our city council and give them the discernment and wisdom that they need. Also protect and support all those who serve in law enforcement, the fire department, EMTs, and all. We also pray for all the schools, hospitals, and churches in this community. And we ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Item number one on our agenda is presentations. We'd like to turn some time over to our city clerk. It's 1A E-Code 360 Platform Overview.
Thank you, Mayor Watkins. So the City of Kingman has our codes and ordinances hosted online on our city website. And recently that platform got switched over to a new version of itself. And so I thought I would just take a few moments so that council could be refamiliarized with it when they're searching for codes and ordinances, as well as for the public. Okay, so when you go to the City of Kingman website, you just hover over Government, go over to Codes and Ordinances, click on Kingman Municipal Code. It is going to take you to the site. If you're impatient like me, you can just click the link and get there faster. So this is our new landing page, and it looks quite a bit different, but there are some really neat features. So we have on the landing page, we have the link to the municipal code. This is going to be all the codes and ordinances. There's a link here that takes you to the new laws. That's going to be any ordinances that have recently been adopted. So if people are following council meetings and they want to see if something was adopted, or maybe they just want to go directly to the newest thing, they can view it here. And then our zoning code is not a part of our municipal code, but a lot of times people don't know that. And so instead of making them search different parts of our website, we thought we would put a link here for that as well. So I'll kind of show you what each of those do. If you click in here, it is going to have everything separated by the different titles, but they've really created some user-friendly search things. So say you want to search dogs or dog licensing. You don't want to just put dog because then it's going to pull up everything. But if you put dog and licensing, then it's going to take a minute because we're interfaced with Zoom. But it's going to pull up licensing fees specifically to dogs. They can click in it. It takes it directly to they can print it from here, they can email it to themselves, they can download it, they can share it. There's a whole bunch of different options. So very user-friendly, very easy, as you can see. They can download a PDF. And the other thing that they can do is they can sign up to get updates. So if they're really passionate about dog licensing fees and they want to know when that code gets updated, then they can just type in their email here, and then every time that code gets updated, that section of the code, then they will get an alert for it. We might see that be something a little bit more popular with like our our special events or different areas of the code that people are really looking into. the new laws, this is how that part looks. So it just lists the last several ordinances that have been adopted, when they were adopted, what the subject was, and the area of our code that it affects. And then if they click, it'll just take them right back to that section. And then same with the zoning code. If they click that, it opens up that whole large document and they can search through that as well. One thing I wanted to highlight that is a useful staff tool is we will be able to look at some analytics now that we didn't have before, and we will be able to see how many people are searching our code, what specifically they're searching in the code. So when we're looking at making updates and community engagement and that kind of stuff, that will be a valuable tool. And then the last thing I wanted to show was how it will look on the mobile app, because I know that we want to make sure that people are able to easily access things on our mobile app as well. So you can see here the section that I have the little highlighted circle around, codes and ordinances. Right when you open the mobile app, you just scroll down a little bit. You can click there and it takes you directly to that platform too. You don't have to go through a whole bunch of clicks and taps. You can just go straight there. And that is all I have. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Any questions for Annie? Thank you, Annie. We appreciate that presentation. And of course, I'm hoping a lot of our citizens use our app and use this information. It makes just giving them more information that's out there. So thanks. Okay, as our official statement, the council may go into executive session for legal counsel in accordance with ARS 38-431.03A3 to discuss any agenda item. The following items may be discussed, considered, and decisions made relating thereto. Item number 2, call to the public, comments from the public. Those wishing to address the council should fill out request forms in advance. Comments from the public will be restricted to items not on the agenda with the exception of those on the consent agenda. There will be no comments allowed that advertise for a particular person or group. Comments should be limited to no longer than 3 minutes. The council may not respond to speakers during the call to the public. The council may direct the city manager to study the matter or request that the matter be placed on a future agenda. First, we have Mr. Wayne Wayne, come.
Wayne Holland from Golden Valley. Speak a little bit on the recycling. I've been a proponent of recycling for years and years, and when I was on the Clean City Commission, that was also something I was interested in and seeing happen. And then we went from doing recycling to not doing the recycling, and then now we're back to recycling. The problem I see so far is we need a certain amount of product to get there to make it profitable. And with what we're charging to people to drop off the recycling now, we went from zero free to what, $7.50 or something to drop off something. If you got a bag of plastic bottles and you're going to drop it off and cost $7.50, you're not going to get enough people doing that to get to the volume that if there was money to be made, that it could be made. So I think there needs to be some adjustment. And I know it's difficult making money on recycling, especially on a everyday basis. It fluctuates and the price fluctuates, but if you don't have the product, it doesn't matter what the price is, you're not going to have enough to do anything with it. So to get more product, I think we need to get more people to participate, and I think the money thing is a little bit out of whack there. Personally, in 2018, I bought a recycling trailer to recycling, and I look at our program and I see we're not doing anything with the recycling really so we can make money, so I never did use my recycling trailer. And now it's sitting out there with the tires weather worn, and now I got to replace tires on it. And I'm still not at the point I think I could use the trailer to help get recycling from the outlying areas. And so I think it's good that we're trying to do recycling, but I think we need to do it a little different. And I know recycling can make money, not all the time, and that's obvious because Bulldog has been doing recycling for years, and they didn't stop doing recycling when COVID hit even. So they might not be getting rich at it, but rich in the recycling business, I think, is breaking even and keeping stuff out of the landfill, because that's when they close the landfill with all the stuff that doesn't need to be in the landfill. It's just a waste of time and effort there. So, thank you.
Thank you, Wayne. Ms. Shelley Witt?
Hello, Mayor. Hello, council members. My name is Shelley Witt. I live in Kingman, Arizona. I have notes this time. I didn't know I had a 3-minute limit last time. It's regarding the Mesa Verde Mobile Home Park driveway in relation to the Circle K. And I live in that park. I was told by Ms. Meredith that there's a March 3rd agenda meeting for the department report. Is that hoping for Mr. Garman? I'm not sure which department, but in my experience, developers are rarely, if ever, fully transparent regarding their goals, motivation, or lengths to which they will go to achieve them. I'm requesting full disclosure regarding the Circle K development and the effect it'll have on the Mesa Verde Mobile Home Park residents. The pictures I sent through Ms. Meredith to your emails, one is from the 1970s, the aerial view. The ones I sent last night were a street view. The trees weren't even planted when that aerial shot that he sent me, the trees weren't even there, 2 of which are dead. Mr. Garman's emails were, current driveway violates several city codes. I asked him what those codes were, how long they were being violated, and again, he told me to do a Public Information Act request, which I felt was not appropriate response. When were they started to be violating, and why weren't they addressed until now? Also, we only have one driveway. Is it in the city code to have 2? One way in and one way out would be emergency, bottleneck. So I'm hoping that somebody will look at the fact that we only have one driveway, maybe give us 2. His statement about no effect on the Mesa Verde residents, again, I really feel that was a presumptuous statement, and I fully disagree with that statement. It does nothing but affect us. Who the design professionals were, I have yet to have an answer from him, and I would really like to know if they considered any other locations. And please don't cut the live trees down. That's what started me to do all this. I agree with the man about recycling. I think we should keep everything that can be recycled out of the landfills, but that's on a different message. I'm gonna keep coming. I hope you don't get angry with me. I'm very, not a tree hugger, but I like them. So, thank you.
Thank you, Shelley. Chris Cranny?
Good evening, Chris Cranny. I'm the founder and CEO of People Against Sex Trafficking, an Arizona nonprofit formalized in 2022. I've been doing activism to fight against sex trafficking since 1987 when I was 7 years old. I have a proposal to make sex trafficking illegal at the city level here in Kingman. Obviously, it's already illegal at the state and federal level. I've researched the exploiter model, where the actual sex trafficker is held accountable. If you look at the Telegram case, there was Pavel Durov, a Russian cybercriminal, made his first statement 4 days ago since his arrest in France in August 2024. How that relates to Kingman, unfortunately, is a local resident here in Kingman was observed on Telegram to be working in concert with prostitutes. I believe that was in 2024. For funding, I have private funding to save the taxpayer money, a casino in partnership with the Arizona Tribal State Gaming Compact, possibly an amendment. I would just like to say that indigenous people matter and their rights matter, and we should support them. I'm not trying to circumvent the Arizona Tribal State Gaming Compact, trying to promote it and strengthen it. The second one is a tax on Pornhub, a Montreal, Canada corporation, Snapchat, Meta, Telegram, Kik, Signal, X, formerly known as Twitter, etc. And I'll get to X a little bit later. For penalty, I have death. Otherwise, they could traffic from prison all over again. E.g., the Warren Jeffs case from prison in Texas. That would obviously also save the taxpayers money. Solutions, data center with experimental computers could help fight it. And then today, Elon Musk was summoned by Paris prosecutors. The office of X in France was raided. Linda Yaccarino, I believe, is the former CEO of, Linda Yaccarino, former ex-CEO, was also involved. I also have consider expunging, waiving, or set aside convictions of people who kill their sex trafficker. Obviously, that would be, a reference to a prostitute who kills a sex trafficker. It's really self-defense. They're trying to prevent themselves from being trafficked. And then I only have 10 seconds left, so I'm just going to tell you that the same presentation was given to the Mojave Board of Supervisors yesterday. Thanks for your consideration. I would also ask staff to review this and put it on a future agenda.
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
Teresa Roundy.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council. Thank you for the lesson. That was real helpful. In April 2025, the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors approved a historic $4 billion settlement to resolve over 7,000 claims of sexual abuse spanning several decades within its juvenile detention and foster care systems. This record-setting agreement, one of the largest of its kind in the United States, aims to compensate victims for abuse that occurred between 1959 and the 2000s. Think about that, spanning back to 1959. My family has personal experience with CPS in California, kidnapping my older sister's children, and they were trafficked. I'm attaching a link to Shannon Henderson's PDF work for 2025, Arrests on Corruption in CPS Across America. So we know CPS and APS are problems. I have previously given the results of the Idaho Ad Hoc Committee on Family Court Kidnapping Children as well. My mother, who is still missing, and we don't know how she is doing because the Sheriff's Department held kidnap her with a third-party elderly care provider. We all know how bad elderly care is in this town. This isn't rocket science, this is corruption. Community safety is the mayor's job and the council's job. I rented a room for my mom to a man who was the same age as my brother, who some of you knew. This man's children were taken from him over a decade ago when his children were 1 and 3 years old. You see, his wife died suddenly by being hit by a car. This causes the whole family extreme trauma, and it gives children an adverse childhood experience score. We know CPS traffics children and that they get paid, some of them up to $7,000 per child, to take away children. Anyhow, CPS came in to take away parental rights and the rights of children, citing a dirty house. Luckily, his sister came in and got custody of those kids, and she still has them, and he has been in fetal position and nervous system collapse, believing himself to be incapable of parenting his children because of that bump in the road. He needed help But instead, CPS put him in nervous system collapse and gave his children another adverse childhood experience score for profit over a dirty house. This is state-paid child abuse. I'm asking this council to address these very dangerous criminal
Teresa,
crimes.
you're out
Thank
of
you.
time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Item number 3, consent agenda. All matters listed here are considered to be routine by the city council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. Council, is there anything that we need to pull and discuss? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion then approving item number 3, consent agenda?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Item number 4, action items. 4A, approval of resolution number 5595, declaring the procurement code of the City of Kingman, Arizona, be a public record. The current version of the City of Kingman's procurement code was adopted in March 2020. In utilizing the code, staff identified certain sections to be updated. After presenting the revisions to council on January 20th, council requested a change be made to the specialized services threshold. This change is now included. To avoid significant publication costs associated with the approval of any procurement code revisions proposed in ordinance number 1989, a resolution declaring the procurement code of the City of Kingman, Arizona to be a public record must be approved. Staff recommends approval. Tina, welcome.
Thank you so much, Mayor. Good evening, Vice Mayor, and good evening, council members. So at the last council meeting, we talked a little bit about the procurement code revisions that staff was proposing. There was some discussion about the threshold specifically and whether or not council wants some of those $50,000 to $100,000 items to come back. And so what we've done is we have made some of those modifications, and instead of trying to talk through them, I thought it might be helpful, thank you, Mr. Carreri, thought it might be helpful to actually see them rather than speak with them. So one of what the takeaway was is that although the thresholds were okay, we were okay, or staff took away that council was okay with moving the lower threshold from $5,000 to the $10,000. And there was a little bit of concern with the $10,000 to the $100,000 that staff would have complete control over approving and selecting the vendors without having to bring that to council. So we heard that that council would like to be involved in the decisions from the $50,000 to $100,000 level, or anything over $50,000 really, that had to do with services, specifically that council was involved in. And so to make it easier for staff and for the council, we felt that we could just bring all specialized services over $50,000 back to the council. There's a really great expansive definition in the procurement code, covers consultants, auditors, engineers, design firms, marketing, trails master plan, consultants would come to you. So a very big array of services. And so what this looks like on the screen and possibly in front of you is that the proposed threshold, the lower threshold, would be up to $10,000. There would be no bidding required, and staff can select the vendor. Then that middle threshold, there would be two different types of purchasing methods. So from $10,000 and a penny to $50,000 for specialized services and technical registrant services. Those are engineers. We would be required to obtain three written quotes or utilize an exception. For anything that is not a specialized service or a technical registrant service, we could go up to $100,000. As far as formal bidding or using an exception and bringing it to council for approval, greater than $50,000 for any of those specialized services or technical registrant services, and greater than $100,000 for purchases like equipment and construction contracts. a few other things, but those are the vast majority. So those are the major changes that we talked about and that I took away from the conversation or from the discussion and the action that council took at the last council meeting. Knowing that this is a change as far as what would be coming to council, meaning that $100,000 level, City Manager Walsh and I talked about on a quarterly basis, bringing to council those $50,000 to $100,000 contracts that council wouldn't be making a decision in, to just share as just a quarterly report. Hey, these are the things that are getting approved at the city manager level, just so you are still aware and that there's some comfort level in adopting the new thresholds. And so with that, I'm hoping that we captured all of your requests, but would certainly be open to answering any other questions that you might have.
Thank you, Tina. Council, any questions for Tina? Pretty straightforward. Thank you, Tina.
Thank you.
Can we have a motion then approving item 4A, approval of resolution number 5595?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 4B, approval of ordinance number 1989, amending the procurement code of the City of Kingman. The current version of the City of Kingman's procurement code was adopted in March 2020. In utilizing the code, staff identified certain sections to be updated. After presenting the revisions to council on January 20th, council requested a change be made to the specialized services threshold. This change is now included. Staff recommends approval. Of course, I think any more questions for Tina? This is sort of just going along with what we just passed. Okay, no questions? Can we have a motion then approving item 4B, approval of ordinance number 1989?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 4C, approval of town hall format for the upcoming March 27th, 2026 Civic Strategic Priorities Town Hall event. The City Council has directed staff to organize town hall meetings to engage with the city residents. Staff proposes to host a town hall meeting on March 27, 2026, to gather community feedback on the city's strategic priorities. The feedback gathered during the town hall will be used to help inform future planning efforts, including budget development, policy discussions, and the prioritization of initiatives. Staff recommends approval. Welcome, Sarah. Yes.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council. I stand before you tonight to go over a new strategy that we have come up with regarding town halls. I know town halls are part of our strategic priorities, that we want to start doing more of them, incorporating more community feedback in our policies and procedures. And I wanted to go over a new town hall proposal and get your input on it. So traditionally, we have done more of like a Q&A presentation, more of like a one-directional town hall. And I wanted to maybe start doing a more interactive one that involves more small group discussions rather than just your typical one-directional presentation. The outcome for this would, I think, get more meaningful community perspectives on city services, priorities, and challenges that may not surface through traditional meeting forums. And then overall, the impact would be to use this feedback to help guide future planning efforts and policy discussions. I came up with this idea through Kingman Unified School District model. They have been doing it for about maybe a year or two. They have hosted 3 to 4 interactive town halls like this. It has proven to be very useful for them. They're getting more participation each time they do it, and they've been able to come up with a better understanding of what the community priorities and concerns are. So to go over how it would work, it would be an invite-only participation for the group discussions. Basically, we would have a certain set of industry groups, which I will get into on the next slide, and we would invite them from specific sectors to get their real-world experiences and specific challenges. There would also be about 28 residents invited and selected by council. We would also invite local nonprofits and civic organization representatives, youth groups. We also would do Citizens Academy alumni. And there will be a public observation, so members of the public can attend in a certain designated area. So participation method, we're going to select 14 individuals from each of the following sectors: education, local business, development, medical, government, nonprofit civic organizations, our city boards and commissioners, youth programs such as Little League, our youth council, Citizens Academy alumni, and then the 28 citizens. So how would it work on the day of the town hall? We would group everybody in the beginning by their sector, or the citizens would get grouped together, and they would be given predetermined questions aligned with the city's strategic plan for our infrastructure, economic development, city budget, and community engagement. And they would go in their little groups and they would discuss the questions. There would be a scribe and a moderator at each table. They would not be able to participate. They're just there to moderate and to take notes. And then in round 2, we're going to mix the groups up. So participants will move to new tables with a mix of sectors to hear different perspectives on the same questions. And then round 3, everybody will return to their original groups and discuss what they learned from the other groups with the mixed groups. And then finally, there would be a report out. Each table would select a presenter to share feedback with the full group. So we're hoping to have the first town hall on March 27th. We would have it at the Lee Williams High School gym because of the space that is going to be needed. So the day of the town hall would look like from 8:30 to 9. We would have check-in and then provide a light breakfast. And then from 9 to 12, we would have the actual town hall program. And that pretty much covers it. So we're requesting approval of the proposed format. So if you have any questions or comments, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you, Sarah, for all your work on this. Any questions or comments for Sarah about this format?
I have a couple.
Yes, Vice Mayor.
On the resident, I know that you say in here that they would be selected by council. I think I would like to see what council's thoughts are on doing, opening it up for a certain amount of registrants and then picking them by lottery. I feel like if we are handpicking, we might not get the cross-section of residents that we're looking for. And then that way it's not biased, it's very generic, and it's done by lottery. So maybe you open it up to the first 50, and then whatever your selection focus group that you want to select, it's done by lottery. And then the second thing I had on the groupings of sectors, I just want to make sure that when you're looking at local business, that you're keeping in mind small business, large business, new business, and businesses that have been around for a long, many years. So I want to have that. I want to have that diversity in that group as well. So if you could just keep that in mind when you're picking that. But other than that, I like this format. I think it's going to be we're going to get some good information. I'm hoping that we will have public participation and people will take this as the opportunity to participate. So great job, and I am looking forward to this.
And I did want to mention we are inviting like 14 individuals from each group, and then the citizens. We're inviting a lot more than we think will actually come, just so we have enough.
Great, thank you. That's all I had.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Yes, Councilor Saley.
I concur with the Vice Mayor. I was a little bit concerned about having just an invite only, because I know there's people that want to participate that don't fall into these categories. One place we're really missing on this list is seniors. I think that you might miss that demographic by limiting it to this. So I like the idea of opening it up to people to be able to register and get in that way, so that it is fair for people, anybody that wants to come in and have their voice heard, they have that opportunity without being limited to this list of people. Otherwise, I think you did a really great job on this and appreciate the work you put into it.
Councilor Dykens.
Discussion topics, predetermined questions aligned with the city's strategic plan. Predetermined questions, who's writing them?
Staff.
Okay.
Okay, any other, yes, Vice Mayor?
I concur. I wonder if maybe you could solicit some comments from maybe council, some questions, maybe specific that we would want to hear, and then we would all have an opportunity to maybe contribute to those questions along with staff.
Would you like me to bring that back to council?
I would just say, just ask us to participate in, you know, generating some questions that will be used that day. I agree. I don't want to miss an opportunity.
We're doing like 3 to 4 questions, because if you do too many, it'll get too many questions, so just keep that in mind.
If I may,
Yes,
yeah, to Sarah's point, the questions will be very open-ended. Just, you know, really, the intent of the question is really just to get the conversation started so we can pull as much information as we can out of the participants. But absolutely, we'll share those questions with council and get any feedback that you have on those.
okay, any other comments or questions? I support Vice Mayor and Councilor Saley also. So Sarah, with those revisions
All right.
and those suggestions, I think we could do that, if that's all right. Okay. Then can we have a motion then approving item 4C, approval of town hall format for the upcoming March 27th, 2026?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Sarah, once again. We are moving fast and furious through this agenda. Item number 5, announcements by mayor, council members, and city manager. Manager Walsh?
Thank you, Mayor. Nothing tonight.
Councilor Walker?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Councilor Savage?
Nothing tonight.
Councilor Ward? Councilor Saley? Councilor Dykens? Okay, Vice Mayor?
I do have a few things. I just wanted to, I attended, along with the mayor, I'm sure he'll talk about this as well, a roundtable discussion with our sister cities and our state delegation, as well as the Board of Supervisors with Congressman Gosar. This past weekend, we talked about water. Specifically, we talked about water specifically to Kingman. We talked about the FAA land release and how Congressman Gosar has been very helpful, and we're almost there. And then also funding for the Flying Fortress road to the airport. And then I wanted to thank the Heritage Preservation Commission. I did attend their meeting. I'm their council liaison. They were very welcoming. They're a very active group. So they're working on a historic property inventory with a consultant for our area to get those properties more on the registry, and then also to inventory what's already there. And then they're working on a train silhouette with an international artist for a mural concept at Lewis Kingman Park. So they're very active, and I'm looking forward to being their liaison on their commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I appreciate that. Really, I don't have much. I do want to announce that next Thursday, February 12th, from 8:30 to 10 a.m. here in council chambers, we are having our first coffee with the mayor and city manager. Of course, you can call it hot cocoa with the mayor and city manager, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, we want to, once again, we want to open that up to citizens to have more and get and hear their concerns and feedback. It's something that Manager Walsh and I have been talking about for probably over a year, trying to put it together timing-wise. But we decided we wanted to get past the holidays, and so this is our first meeting that we will have next Thursday. So we just want to make sure everybody knows about that. That's all I have. Item number 6, council request for future reports and updates. Anything tonight? Okay, quiet night. Executive session, we have none. Thanks once again for being here. We are adjourned.